Hello and welcome. Well, get out your pen and paper. We're going to have a very practical, important show tonight about living on a tight or tighter budget. I think most of us are thinking in these terms, and my guest tonight is a man who works with both middle-income people and lower-income people in the world of finances and taking care of business. My guest is Daryl Dahlheimer, who is a MSW. He is also a certified consumer credit counselor, and he is the program director of the Lutheran Social Service Financial Services. So welcome, Daryl.
Thank you, Mary.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
A big topic. I just heard on the news tonight before I came down here that people who are laid off today, this week, probably will not have a job that is equal to the pay they had with the job they just lost for at least 3 years. And that was sobering, and I thought, we're all living a bit on edge right now, and life was tight anyway, but it seems it's tighter for so many people. We're going to start off and talk about credit card debt, because almost everybody is maybe overusing their credit card or not getting their card paid off as they would like. What do you want to say that's most important, and then we'll go into detail?
Sure. Well, credit cards are this new feature in America. In my parents' generation, they were rare, and you'd pay your balance in full. And I like to say that if you asked my grandparents to fill in the blank, and you asked them for emergencies in finance you need, they would fill in the blank with savings account. That was what was culturally normative, was you need savings for emergencies, or friends, or family. Now, if you ask the current crop of 20-year-olds, or even 30-year-olds for financial emergencies you need blank, they would fill it in with credit cards. So there's been this norming of debt. And credit cards are a good thing because they give you access to cash, and they can be placed to help you travel with, not having to carry cash. They can help build a credit rating, and I'm in favor of them generally.
That was something, when you and I had a chance to talk recently, I wondered, because some financial experts say, get rid of your credit card, cut it up, get rid of it. But you say no.
No, it's a
Use
tool
it
like
wisely.
a hammer. Just don't take the hammer and be banging things that shouldn't be banged. And what many people do is they don't realize credit cards are a good tool. Credit card debt is not a good thing. And so paying off the balance in full is the right way to use a credit card. You charge, you pay it in full, and because of a grace period, you don't even have to pay any interest then. But when you carry a balance month to month to month, there becomes a world of pain, because to pay that $20 pizza off at minimum payments could be an $80 pizza when you were done.
And I don't think, people maybe know that in the back of their minds, but they don't think in those terms real consciously, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right. It's magic money. And one of my first financial counseling clients, I asked her along the way for the budget, what do you spend at Christmas and holidays? And she brightened and said, oh, I don't spend a thing. I charged it.
Wow.
I thought, oh, I learned something here.
Magic money.
Magic plastic money.
Do you know what the average debt is with credit cards? Or your ballpark guess?
Sure, it's a funny kind of figure, because there are a pocket of us that pay our credit cards off completely in full, and there's other people who have alarming, tragic amounts of debt. The average of someone who carries a balance in America is $9,000. That's a lot. And that means that every month you're paying hundreds of dollars in interest when you have that much balance. So that means
a lot of people are paying or have a debt of $18,000 to $20,000.
Yes, by the time they've paid it off, yes. So it's one of those things where, because we have credit cards and they are good for opportunity, maybe people have taken advantage of that or not understood exactly the trap they were putting themselves into, and it functions more like quicksand than a ladder if you don't pay it off.
Most credit cards companies have interest that is surprisingly high. but it starts out often, you know, very, very low, and it gets people hooked in. I hear some people say, well, I just then get a new, you know, I go to a new company, and they keep kind of shifting. Now, does that get people in trouble?
Oh, it sure can, because my grandmother used to tell me to actually clean the house, not sweep it under the rug. And there's an element of that, what you're saying. Not to shuffle debt, but to actually pay down debt. And not to pay it down paying only minimums, which is what's required. On a $1,000 balance, they'll only ask for 2% or $20 each month. Of that $20, let's say $18 is interest. So you're paying $20, but you're only actually paying down the debt $2. And $2 into $1,000 at interest doesn't get it done very soon.
And people pay 20, 30 charge.
Right, 20, 30 years of that. And you know, we were talking before, I was remembering about universal default, something people just don't understand. So this is a credit card policy that's in everybody's credit card. And it says
if you read that fine print,
you just open up the 8 pages, put on your magnifying glass.
Right.
But the universal default is just this surprise. You'd normally expect, if you were the credit card company and I was the consumer and I was late on my payments, I might expect you to raise my rates. The same as if you were the insurance company and I had a car accident, you might charge me more because of my driving record, right? So if my credit record isn't good, you might charge me more, okay? But the way universal default works is if I have 5 cards and I'm perfect on all 5, and I make one mistake on one card, not only does that card go to these terrible rates of interest, but all 5 do because of this one mistake. So it's kind of like swerving off the road just a tiny bit on the rumble strip and finding all 4 tires have been flattened. It's like, holy cow, who expects that?
Now that is I had not heard that. That's something I bet most people don't know, Daryl.
Not until you get into the bear trap do you understand universal default. And how it works is that they'll charge you default penalty rate of interest. So as you said, it starts out low, but penalty rates are typically 25.9 to 35.9% interest. And they'll charge you a $35 late fee each month. And as a penalty, they'll lower your current limit, your credit limit, underneath what you currently owe. So now every month you have $35 late fee, $35 over the limit fee, so $70 in fees and 30% interest.
Do you have, and there you go, you're just in trouble right away.
And do you know what's really sad? Consumers face that, and a lot of times they're so angry and so trapped that they go into this flood of bankruptcies when there's other options that are out there.
Before we talk about bankruptcies, and I want to ask you about those, how do you specifically advise people then to handle their credit card debt? You also already said pay off as much as you can. Don't just pay the minimum. Do you advise people to keep track, some kind of a running log of what they're charging?
Well, simple is good. The first simple, I think simple is great because we can all do it. Like someone told me, floss at night. I can do that. And so simple with finances is good. And one simple rule is, as you said, pay more than minimum. So if they say $20 each month, pay 30, pay 25. That little extra will kick in. So instead of being $2, it's the $2 plus 5, paying down the real debt. So paying more than minimums there's no downside to it. The other is, honestly, stop charging. While you have a debt that, my ideal for everyone is to charge and pay it in full every month, so no interest, no trap, good credit.
If you pay on time.
Right.
But see, there's another little
well, that helps too. But if you pay it down every month, generally you can stay on time if you're willing to be disciplined.